Okay, Manchester United have defeated Chelsea at Stamford Bridge 2-0 in the FA Cup fifth round. Both goals scored by midfielders and both goals scored with headers. Chelsea had more of the possession in both halves. It was 54. It was 56%. Sorry, Chelsea possession first half against Manchester United's 44. That's one of the notes of the day. Second half, I think that would have been 70 to 20, 70, 80% for Chelsea, about 20, 30% for Man United. It was all Chelsea in the second half, but they weren't using the ball correctly. And when they were 2-0 down in the second half and chasing the game, Sarri's substitutions didn't make a lot of sense. Azpilicueta, when he was subbed off, the fans booed that. Zappacosta is, unless he's injured, Zappacosta is fine to bring on if it's a 2-all and you want a bit of defensive prudence. But when you're chasing a game, first, you take your captain off and do a like for like is not the right idea. I got the Ross Barkley substitution. I got the Williams substitution to a point because Williams played well in this competition in the past and he's got a good shot on him. I didn't understand that one. And doing three like for like substitutions, no tactical changes, not a change of formation, really boggles the mind. The two goals, and Herrera's goal, he's part of the build-up play. Pogba gets the ball, it's given far too much space and time to pick across. And Herrera, clearly, they've got a good communication in midfield. Pogba knows he's going to make the run. Marcos Alonso is nowhere to be seen. He's completely gone to sleep. And Herrera, not known for his heading ability, scores a very, very good headed goal. But he shouldn't be given the space. 14 minutes later, it's Pogba who's now heading the ball in the back of the net. Again, Marcos Alonso goes to sleep. The cross comes in from Marcos Alonso's left back position. And Pogba makes a late run into the box himself and again heads the ball in. Could the Chelsea goalkeeper done better? Possibly. But both those goals were actually avoidable. It's not as if, it's a free kick or it's a special bit of play. When you're giving creative players space and when you're not marking and you're sloppy in defence, goals like that will happen. Now Man United have got a cushion and they look more defensively organised under Solskjaer than under Mourinho. The tactics are exactly the same. It's the manager and the voice in the dressing room and the way the players are responding to the instructions. Plain and simple. Second half, Man United are operating on a counter-attack. Now, they didn't get any shots on target in the second half, but it didn't matter. It was the threat of the counter-attack that every time Chelsea had a corner, and they had a lot of corners, nearly 16 or 17 corners in total, every time Chelsea had a corner, Pogba was on the D, where you want him, and players like Lindehoff have really turned themselves around under Solskjaer. Much maligned under Mourinho, because Mourinho didn't instill confidence in these players. Very negative. Now, Solskjaer's tactics, okay, they had less of the ball. They took their chances. He's encouraging the players when they do have the ball in attack to be a bit more flair and a bit more think on your feet and express yourself. In defence, stay organised, but in attack, he's released the shackles a little bit and said, right, pass and move, find a player in space, make a run, communicate, and they are happy doing that. This is what I like about pragmatic coaches: is yes, you have the defensive structures, but in attack, sometimes let the players just play, and that's what they did in the first half. The second half, they're just relying solely on the counter attack. I didn't think Lukaku was very effective, personally, today, but he was tying up defenders. And when he comes off and Sanchez comes on, okay, Sanchez didn't have much of the ball. Could he have been brought on earlier? Possibly. But Rashford played exceptionally well, constantly stretching the defence. Pogba played well. Lindehoff played well in centre of defence with Smalling. Sergio Romero pulled off some brilliant saves in the first half when Chelsea had a lot of the ball. He wasn't tested enough in the second half. All that possession and not enough shots on target. Paul Pogba, I think he could have chosen any one of the Man United players for man of the match personally. Any of the midfield, Matic, Mata, you had Herrera. Herrera could have got man of the match for me. He was more disciplined. In the past, he's got silly yellow cards and silly red cards. Today, far more disciplined. On the Chelsea side of things, I didn't understand some of the substitutions. They're all like for like. There was no tactical change. Ross Barkley, okay, fine. He's got a bit more than Kovacic going forward, but he does exactly the same role in the midfield. He just scores a couple more goals. Willian, okay, I can understand putting Willian on. Fine, I have no issue with that. But the Azpilicueta substitution, when you're 2-0 down with about 10 minutes left, why are you putting Zappacosta on? Unless Azpilicueta's got an injury or he's not fully fit, I do not understand that when you're 2-0 down and chasing the game. Now, Zappacosta is not a bad player. He's a decent player. But I don't think that's the change that needed to be made. And why would you take your captain off? Because You know, as Piliqueta is a good leader. He's one of the. He was showing some passion tonight. He was running his socks off. I don't understand taking him off unless there's an injury there. Hudson-Odoi doesn't get on. I would have put Hudson-Odoi on and said, sod it, pressure's off, show us what you can do in 10 minutes. If that is the change you're going to make down that flank, you put Hudson-Odoi on. And I don't get Sarri. Is that a slight at the player who's wanted a transfer request? I don't know. But I can't see Maurizio Sarri being here at the end of the season. In fact, if Chelsea lose their next game, I think he's out the door. I think he had to win this game. Look at the managerial turnover at Chelsea compared to Man United in the same period. Yes, Man United have had a fair bit of managerial turnover in the last few seasons, but you've got to look at it. Since Fergie's retired, they've had a lot of managers, but nowhere near as many as Chelsea. So it's interesting. Man United deserved the win. They defended really well. They caught them on the counter attack. They used their possession when they had it more effectively. They showed a bit more fight in midfield than under Mourinho. And the players are now happy to play defensive football and play with freedom on the counter attack or in attack. When they have the ball at their feet, the Man United players are allowed to express themselves, which is something that Mourinho shackled. So their expressive side and their skill side is allowed to be out there. And players like Pogba are buying in on the defensive side. He's still a liability in defence. No, there's no denying that. When you put him on the D rather than on the post from the centre of the box, you can get in the ball to him quickly, and then there's a counter attack. That's the best way to use him defensively from set plays. It showed tonight. If Pogba can play like that every week, and not just every so often, you've just got not just a really good player, you have a world class player. He's already won the World Cup in an average French side. But if Paul Pogba can play like that week in, week out for Man United, Silverware will be returning to Old Trafford very quickly. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Chelsea, for all their possession, too slow and methodical. And the like-for-like changes, no tactical changes, I didn't understand that. And if you've got Higuain up front, and he was trying tonight, you've got to get crosses into the box rather than trying to pass it to his feet. He's got to be able to challenge in the air or chest it down, bring players into play. They didn't do enough of that. And have Hudson-Odoi on the bench and not bring him on. I didn't understand that. He's got pace, he's willing, he wants to play. I didn't understand that. Loftus-Cheek not playing, didn't understand that. I did not understand some of Sarri's tactical decisions in the second half when they're chasing the game. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below. And here's another quick note. Chelsea were booed off both at half-time and at full-time. So the fans are turning against Maurizio Sarri. I don't think he's long for the Chelsea job. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts and comments below. And I'll have some more videos for you soon.